Welcome to Authentic Journey. This is a show about raw conversations about life and living.
I'm Neliana, a funny, smart, lovely, and sexy woman who loves to challenge ideas.
And my name is Kim. I'm a woman, a mother, a sister, an aunt, a colleague, and I think a great friend. I'm a human being who enjoys connecting with people.
We want to encourage you to give yourself permission to have honest and raw conversations in the search for your own authenticity.
Thank you for joining us. So today we're talking about self-care. Self-care, self-care, self-care. That word has just been thrown around so much, right? And it has different meaning to different people. I'm curious what self-care means to you, friend.
I was thinking before going what means for me, because I think that's a concept that evolved during my life. I was thinking that at the beginning of this recording, you were asking, like, how do you feel? How are you doing? And you say, I'm fine. And I'm really fine right now. But at the beginning, when we were going to record this, because we have a time to record this, I didn't feel that I was fine.
Yes.
So I had to take care of some of my needs to be able to be fine and to have the energy to come and have this conversation with you. So I'm kind of connecting our different topics from previous conversation with this new one in the sense of, sometimes it's not that I'm sad or upset. It's just that I don't feel in the right energy to do what I want to do. So how do I take care of myself to be able to have the energy to connect with you today and saying I'm really fine because I'm fine. So I love that we are having this conversation today, because it just happened like a few minutes ago that I didn't have the energy to start this, and I had to take care of myself to be able to do it. So going back to your question, I'm not sure that I know exactly what means self-care, because it's depending so much of so many things that self-care for me sometimes sounds like drinking a coffee. Some other means watching Netflix for 4 hours or sometimes 6. On other is grabbing my kids and do an activity that where I spend a lot of energy. So for you, what comes to your mind when you say self-care?
For me, I mean, when I think about self-care, similar to you, it's a concept that I had to learn, right? I had to learn, okay, what does self-care mean? And you research, you read articles, even as you read books. And I do have like a cheat sheet here, right here, right? It has, physical self-care, spiritual self-care, lifestyle self-care, people and support self-care, mental, emotional self-care, right? And in all these different areas, there are different things you can do to take care of these different parts of yourself. Um, but personally, for me, self-care, I think, is just listening to myself and listening to my mind and body and asking myself, what do you need right now? Right? Just like what you said, what I need right now may be different from what I need like in 10 minutes. It could be very different from what I need this evening, right? Because this evening, I'd have had a full day at work, I would have done the, everyday things. And this evening, self-care could just be sleep. Self-care could be, heck, this is self-care, right? Because I'm connecting with my friends and we're talking about, heck, self-care. So this is self-care. So to me, self-care is anything that you do for yourself to feed and nourish yourself. Because as human beings, we do get depleted, by just life. So just whatever we do to take care of ourselves so we can continue to do what we need to do, to me is self-care, you know?
Yeah, I think that when you were saying about that was a concept that you had to learn, I think that for me before, first self-care, it was it wasn't a word that exists in my vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
But just going to something so basic like resting.
Yes.
For me, that was something that you earn. Something that after you do all the things that you need to do, that you must to do, that you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
After all that,
yeah.
you earn to rest. And I think that I work like that. I'm 40, and I think that maybe I can imagine 38 years thinking that resting is something that you earn after working so hard that you deserve to rest. And it's interesting because now for me, resting is something that I need, that I must do in order to be productive. So
wait, say that again, because when you said it, I had to hear it. Say that again.
So for me now, rest is something that I must do or have to be able to be productive.
Wow.
So before it was being productive, so you can earn resting. And now resting, it's part of the foundation.
It's the opposite.
To be able to be productive. The way that I learned this is not because, oh my God, I want to grow inside of me. I want to be more self-aware. It's come from exhaustion. Like it came from, okay, now I'm sleeping 4 or 5 hours every day, pushing myself to do everything that I need to do, to work, to my kids, everything that I need to do. And I'm like, I can feel that I don't have the same energy, because it's not the same to have 30 years or 25 that to start having 40 or 50. So at some point I start saying, like, what is happening with me that I don't feel that I'm the same smart, the same, I don't work at the same speed, I'm not able to create. And in that point is that I say, there is something off here. And for that is that I start, so it's not coming from self-care, I need to love myself. It's coming from, if you really want to do all the things and achieve all this goal, baby, you need to fill the tank in some way. So self-care is not my drive. It's what I learned that I need to do in order to do all the things that I really want to do. So it's a responsibility for me now, kind of. But it's fine with me to say that self-care is part of my to-do list. And as it's not coming from this la la land, oh, we need to love and self-care, because that's too much for me. It's something important that I learned that I need to do in order to be authentic, or to be doing what I really passionate about doing.
And when you said to fill your tank, that really resonated with me, because before I started, I guess, paying attention to what I needed, right? Like you say, to be able to do what I needed to do, I felt, before, I used to feel guilty for resting, or I used to feel guilty for taking care of myself, because sometimes society, and correct me if I'm wrong, society, when you say, hey, I want to practice self-care, right? Prior to when it became a buzzword, people would make you feel bad, right? They would even sometimes go as far as saying, hey, you're being selfish, right? And I had to think about it. I said, what does that even mean? Right? Because when you're doing for others, you're not accused of being selfish. But when you're doing the same thing for yourself that you're doing for others, meaning you're taking care of yourself, then you're made to feel guilty, right? So I had to redefine that for myself, because if I'm doing XYZ for someone else and people are saying, oh, well done, you're doing such a great job, I should be able to do the same thing for myself and then tell myself, well done, you're doing a great job, right? So I had to challenge myself to give myself permission not to feel guilty for taking care of myself, not to feel guilty for resting. Because if I didn't do that, right, and I going back to what you said, I felt like it's something I had to earn, right? Instead of something I had to do to be able to continue to do the things that I needed to do. So there was, for me, there was a lot of unlearning, you know, previous behaviors, beliefs, and relearning or even redefining, right, what it meant for me to be able to give myself the permission, to practice self-care, you
Yeah,
know?
and I listen to you, and my mind is going to into completely different directions. Is one,
Mhm.
it, the gender expectation.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yeah.
because there's a completely different way of seeing maybe the husband or the man that he's been working for 10
Mm,
hours
mm,
under the
mm,
sun,
mm.
working the yard, and then they go home and they deserve to rest.
Yeah,
But the stay at home mom that is been taking care of the kids the whole day, she
yeah.
is not expected that she take care of herself after the husband came home. It's expected that she also provide that space for the husband
Hmm,
so
hmm.
he can take care of himself.
Yeah.
So that's one of the part. And then the other part that came when you were talking, it's like when all this self-care work came, it was about yoga, meditation, walking, and I
Yeah.
was really struggling with that kind of self-care because what I need
Mm.
to balance my energy, it was
Yeah.
about music,
Yes.
going dancing,
Dancing.
drinking, and
Yes.
having sex. That
Connecting with friends. Yes.
those were my words of
Yes.
self-care.
Yes.
But when
Yes.
people were asking, uh, as a professional, as a student, uh, what is the way that you take care of yourself,
Yeah.
there was not a space to say things that they were
Hmm.
not healthy or appropriate. So self-care
Yes.
become like a, okay, be on diet, drinking water, yoga,
Yeah.
all these things. And I was like,
Yes.
really, after 11 sessions, sometimes what I need is to stop in a bar, having one drink, having completely superficial conversation that is
Yes.
not in deep, that I'm not taking care of anybody else. We are just talking
Mm-hmm.
about the
Mm-hmm.
game that is in front of our
Mm-hmm.
screen,
Mm-hmm.
or how is the food. And
Yeah.
that drink for me, it's a self-care to disconnect from a long day,
Yes.
to be able to continue it
Yeah.
when I got home,
Yeah.
to clean the house, organize, but I need that break in
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to go to the both side or which one it's more interested for you, but I think that I have all this
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah. No, but I agree with you because self-care is personal to each person, and you're absolutely right. When we talk about self-care, with clients or even with people like you, when I hear yoga or join a gym, I respect that, but all these things are external to me, right? I always look at them like, yes, this is good for you, but internally, what are you doing to take care of yourself? Because after a long day at work, to be honest, I don't want to go to the gym. Is it helpful or healthy for me to go to the gym? Absolutely. But to me, sometimes that's one more thing to do, right? And I'd rather not have one more thing to do on my already long to-do list. Like you, what I wanted to do is just something that is disconnect but still connect, right? And like you said, like going to the bar or going dancing and just that is self-care. That is, something that feeds the soul, right? That feeds the spirit, that nourishes, that takes care of you. that attends to your senses. You're listening to music, you're connecting with people through conversation, you're eating food, right? And that in and of itself is self-care within self-care. You're eating food while you're disconnecting, you're feeding your body and your mind, so I guess I'm just curious how people can, I mean, ourselves included, think about self-care as a personal thing, a personal journey. I don't know, and individualize it, to nourish, to feed, to, I don't know what are the adjectives to use, just to replenish ourselves,
And I
and what
think
are
that is
those
coming
things?
from what you were saying at the beginning, that it's like listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think that implies self-awareness. If
Yes.
we don't
Yes.
want to make the self-care something again like rigid, that is like, okay, my way of like taking care of myself, it's going to the gym.
Mm-hmm,
Yes,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
sometimes in my life looks like going to the gym.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wake up 7 a.m. and I have so much energy that I cannot like canalize in a way that is going to be productive. So
Yeah.
that's the moment that my way of taking care of myself is going to the gym,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
leaving all
mm-hmm.
that energy there so
Yeah.
I can work with the rest of the energy because I have too much. But
Yes.
sometimes it's exactly the contrary of that.
Mm-hmm,
Sometimes
mm-hmm.
I don't have enough energy to do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do I need to do in that moment
Mm-hmm.
to find the energy?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not the most healthy behavior if we
Mm-hmm.
want to be very rigid about what means healthy behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's a good enough
Yeah.
behavior
Yeah.
to take care of that specific need that I have in the moment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, it will be a problem if I'm drinking every day because that's the only way that I cope
Mm-hmm.
with the energy. But I don't see any problem and like having two drinks when I'm having a difficult day. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
when we were like teaching classes and the
Mm-hmm.
supervisor we were having that conversation and I was talking about drinking, their first reaction is like, really? The professor is
Yes.
saying that
Exactly.
she's drinking after sessions? And I was
Yeah.
like, yes, let's try to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
we are
Yeah.
human, and as a human, we have different needs. And
Yes.
let's stop pretending that all of our coping mechanisms,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
our way of taking care of us is healthy, because
Yeah.
sometimes to take care of myself is to stop at McDonald's and
Mm-hmm.
have a
Mm-hmm.
very greasy burger
Unhealthy.
that
Don't forget
I
the unhealthy
feel
part.
that is like, oh my God, I'm
With
having
fries.
this.
With fries.
And
Yes.
Coke.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yeah.
who cares about
Yeah.
what do I do to take
Yeah.
care if I'm not hurting anybody,
Anyone. Yeah.
having one drink, one McDonald's, or
Yeah.
two coffee?
Yeah. You know, I love having conversations with you because we always talk about things raw and real. And I was just thinking about like when you were describing just stopping at McDonald's, getting that greasy burger with fries and a Coke, right? And I couldn't help but smile because earlier on you said self-care is awareness, right? And just an awareness, and I was kind of connecting the dots. An awareness to be able to just be real with yourself, right? Like really
That's
real with yourself, right? Because if you ask me what is self-care, if I just, and this is no disrespect to people who love to work out, because I have amazing people in my life who that's what they do, and I respect and I honor that. But if everyone is repeating the same thing and it's not their reality, right? If you ask me what self-care, I say go to the gym, go to yoga, go for a walk in the park, and that's not what I do, then is that really self-care, or am I just saying what I'm supposed to do? Right? So like self-care, the more we talk about self-care, the more I can't help but think self-care is being real with yourself. Just being real with yourself. If you want to go to the gym, go. If you don't want to go to the gym, don't go. If you want to eat that greasy burger, obviously within reason, do it, right? If you don't want to, don't. But just being real with yourself to know what works for you, what's helpful for you, and just honoring that reality for yourself. And I always think about, like, I think I talk a lot with people, especially my clients, as adults, right? We all walk around with this mask on our faces. And someone says, "How are you?" Right? You could have just had a horrible day. You could have been in a car accident. You could have, had like, a negative medical diagnosis. Or heck, you could be going through some existential crisis in your life, whatever it is. But the societally acceptable answer is, "I'm okay," right? Because we put that mask on, right? Because we have to be okay, right? Imagine what it would look like if someone asked, "How are you doing?" And you really tell them, "You know what? I just got in a car crash and then I think I'm about to go into, my relationship is not working. I may be filing for a divorce. And, by the way, my child just got a cancer diagnosis. And oh my God, I think I just had a flat tire, and then my roof fell in during, this, and you just go off and say how you really feel. It's not going to work, right? Because the person is going to say, a simple "I'm fine" would be okay, because that's what they expect of you, right? That's what they expect of you. So as a society, we've all been socially taught to say, when someone says, "How are you?" you say, "I'm fine." Right. So I don't know, just self-care is, in as much as you don't want to go around telling everyone what's wrong or what's happening in your life, self-care, I think, is just telling yourself, and honoring whatever is going on, and giving yourself permission to be real with yourself, and lean on your support system, for support, because I just think that's self-care, and I'm wondering what your thoughts are.
So I wonder if kind of I'm defining self-care as something that is going to change and depending of what I need, and it's coming from self-awareness.
Yeah.
What will be the name for eating healthy, going to the gym?
Yeah.
If we are not saying that that's self-care itself, it's how I wonder what is the word. Like, if like drinking a coffee or having a burger, it's part of my self-care options. How do I call eating healthy, drinking water, going to the gym that it's also being healthy or taking care of your body? But I don't define it like taking care of, oh yeah, now that I'm talking, I can see that for me it's like going to the gym, eating healthy, drinking water is taking care of my body. But it's, for me, self implying body, mind, soul,
spirit,
energy, everything.
Yes.
So it's not just about going to the gym or eating healthy. It's about,
it's all of it.
What do I need to recharge myself in every gap that I can feel at that moment? So I think that now, after having this conversation, for me, it's going to be a different about taking care of my body.
Yeah.
So my body is healthy.
Yeah.
From taking care of myself. That is a whole. There is a wholeness there.
Yes. And I agree with you 100%. That's why this is my cheat sheet. I can't remember where I found it. I'm gonna email it to you because it literally said what you said, right? Physical self-care, right? And it says nutrition, sleep, exercise, water intake, medication, supplements, deep breathing is even in physical self-care, spiritual self-care, prayer, meditation, spiritual community, forgiveness, finding purpose and meaning, people and support self-care. That's family, friends, psychiatrists, therapists, right? Minister, rabbi, support group, day treatment, community service, mental/emotional self-care, positive self-talk, positive belief, feeling one's feelings, mood, journal, a library of positive memories, psychotherapy, family of origin healing, work through grief, work with a good therapist, lifestyle, structure, routine, relaxation, setting goals, fulfilling work, time in I love that one, time in nature, pleasure, right? And then in the middle, it says the goal to feel vital and balanced, free from depression and anxiety. So this cheat sheet, and this is just a resource. This is not me. I'm giving credit to wherever I got it from. It's like you said, taking care of the whole self. And I love that this gives ideas of how to do that because, like you said, eating is taking care of your body, right? Exercise is taking care of your body, but taking care of the whole self, there are different parts to it, you know?
There are different parts, but because for me it's an integration. Sometimes that to be able to take care of one of those parts, I'm not taking care of the other one. The other part. When I decide to go to a burger, I'm not taking care of the body, but I'm not like being hard on myself saying, you don't supposed to do this. I'm right now, my priority is not taking care of my body. It's taking care of my emotions because right now, my emotions, I feel sad and I need to do something. So instead of putting the pressure of, okay, self-care means having all this in the body, in the spiritual part, in this, it's how you go with the flow. Yes. And integrate who you are and understand, and like you say a few times, giving yourself permission to do what the situation is calling at that moment without putting more pressure of, oh my God, if I'm doing this, I'm not taking care of that. Because at the end, you are not taking care of yourself. You are just putting pressure on you. So it's going against your own self-care. So wondering, how do we close today? What is your takeaway?
My takeaway is just, I like the word awareness. I like the word awareness because that was so helpful, right? Just an awareness of what we need and giving ourselves permission because we cannot take care of all of ourselves all the time. If it's the physical self that we need to take care of, then we can exercise, we can eat. If it's the emotional, just being aware of what the self needs to be able to take care of that part of the self-care and not feeling bad that we're not doing everything we're supposed to do, but just honoring, our awarenesses of what we need. Thank you for joining us.